is Sierra Walton. I work with the QEP, and today I will be interviewing Miss Lady Mahogany. She was born in Savannah. Mahogany Bowers has performed on almost every stage in New York City. She cultivated her craft at Savannah Arts Academy, where she graduated with honors in dance theater. She also has 2 degrees in marketing management and business management from Savannah Technical College and a bachelor's degree in mass communications at Savannah State University. In 2011, Ms. Bowers created Blessings in a Book Bag, a nonprofit organization that assists children and their families every Friday with a bag filled with non-perishable food to sustain them over the weekend. In addition to her other ventures, Ms. Bowers, better known to her listeners as Lady Mahogany, is currently a DJ on Savannah's own 94.1 The Beat. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Miss Lady Mahogany. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
Okay. How does it feel to be back at Savannah State?
Well, this is the thing. I'm always on campus. So I'm always back on campus doing something, whether it be speaking or whether it be visiting someone in the mass communications department. Mass Comm, JMC is a very tight niche group.
Right.
So we're constantly calling on each other when it comes to different projects and different things that we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Just last week I called Will Martin and asked him
Okay.
about a photographer. And he was like, I got somebody for you. So we always stay in touch because we always need connections and we always need things done. So I'm always on campus and happy to be on campus.
Okay. So I definitely love what you do, especially after hearing your workshop just earlier today. And when I was younger, I actually wanted to be a radio personality because people told me my voice was sort of deep. So I was just like, I used to be insecure about it, but then as I grew older, I was like, I have a very distinct voice.
That's right.
Actually now I'm the host for the QEP's Right Attitude radio show. So yeah, that's pretty good. So would you say that writing, because we know writing kind of plays into radio personality a lot, broadcast journalism and stuff of that nature. So just to start, would you say that writing has been important for your self-expression, and if so, how?
Very important. For me, I am ADD and dyslexic.
Okay.
So writing can be somewhat of a challenge. Because with the ADD, writing takes focus, which is hard for someone who's ADD. And with dyslexia, writing is also an issue when it comes to writing things in the correct order. So grammatical errors are a part of my life. They caught it when I was in the 5th grade, which has allowed me to use certain things to maneuver around that. For example, which direction is left? Okay, this makes the L, so this is left. Also, when you're saying us is always going to be O-U-S. You know, there are different things that you can learn. And also, I took plenty of speech classes. Once I graduated high school, even before I entered college, I went and I took personal speech classes. I also joined Toastmasters. Toastmasters is an organization that helps people who are shy or people who want to become better speakers. They teach them how to speak. And it's something that is here in Savannah as well. So I encourage people who are shy or people who want to learn how to speak better in front of larger crowds, so on and so forth. It helps them to be able to do that. So I personally did all of those things to help me when it came to writing and speaking. We use writing a lot in the world of entertainment. Of course, this is the day and age where everyone picks up their phone and their stylus and they jot down things. But what that leaves is now autocorrect and spell checked. And those things are at a disadvantage for someone who deals in the world of mass communications. Because that information, 9 times out of 10, is not correct.
Right.
So when it comes to me doing everything from current events in the morning, you know, people are tuned in. I am their community leader. So whatever I say is word, meaning that they know if Mahogany said it, then it's true. Well, then that means I need to be accurate, which means that I need to make sure that I go back and I research. And whatever I research, when I write it down correctly. So it has a lot to do in the field of entertainment with writing, and it's played definitely a major part when it comes to information for the community, all the way to celebrity news and gossip.
Okay. Well, I'm actually on my way into becoming a product of the mass communications department here at Savannah State University too. So I do know that research is that first step in ensuring that you're a credible source for others to rely on. So to tie this back into being a radio personality, in what ways has writing contributed to your success in that career field?
It's helped me when it comes to my accuracy and building my reputation in the community. Like you said, you have to be a reputable source, which means that people have to trust what you say. But trust is earned, trust is not given. I've been doing radio for almost 10 years. November of this year will make 10 years that I've been doing radio. Now, radio was never something, I'm not like you, I didn't, always want to go into radio. Never. Like I said, I have a degree in business, I got a degree in marketing. I was selling candy bars at school when everybody was going outside to play. I've always been a grinder, always been a hustler. So business has always been something that has driven me. But I learned that through JMC, that marketing piece, how to get a product, how to package a product, and how to directly target the people who want that product. That's very important. So I learned that here at JMC, Savannah State University, Orange and Blue Boo. And as far as the writing goes, it's built my credibility in the community to be able to get information, listen for information and write it down, or see information and write it down, to be able to do my post when it comes to social media, when it comes to emailing people and responding. Those things, communication, which is the field that we live in, communication, those things are very important. So that's how it's added to my career, just with building credibility with my listeners and my followers and my supporters.
Okay. Now, earlier today, Lady Mahogany did a workshop with some SSU students and faculty, and she kept emphasizing the importance of building relationships, remaining consistent, and communicating. So, to tie this into the next question, what are the specific writing styles that a radio person needs in order to communicate?
The exact same thing that they teach you here at Savannah State University, which they taught me. Who, what, when, where, and why.
Right.
Period. It's that hard, but it's just that simple. Who, what, when, where, and why. And in that order. Because in the day and age of social media, pictures, billboards, school buses, no one wants to read. No one wants to read. So you have to have that specific information. If you are lucky enough in this day and age to get someone's attention, make the best of that attention. Who, what, when, where, and why immediately. When Parker's does an advertisement, it's a big picture of a ice cold drink on a hot day, and it says 99 cents. So immediately you see the what, which is the ice cold drink, okay? And then it's for 99 cents. After they've gotten your attention with the man, it's hot outside, I sure enough would like a Parker's big 32 ounce. Ooh, it's only 99 cents. Where's the next Parker? And then that's where it says 2 miles ahead, 1 mile ahead on your left, or directly to your right.
Okay. So, I remember you just said that Toastmasters was an organization here in Savannah that helped you break out of your shell and become more of a public speaker. So what advice would you give to an aspiring public speaker or radio personality?
I would say, for me, now my credit does not go to Toastmasters of Savannah. I would be wrong not to talk about she's now the president over at Savannah Technical College, but her name is Gail Eubanks, and she started out as a speech teacher. And Miss Eubanks, which is 5'2", 5'3", stylish little old lady, she helped me when it came to speaking, because I would get up and I would speak, and I was always confident, but my delivery was everywhere. And in this day and age of an adult attention span, your target market, you have to get up and say what you need to say, and then give them the fluff afterwards. But when you get up, it needs to be the who, what, when, where, and why, and everything else can come afterwards. That selling point can come afterwards. But while you have their attention, you give them all the information that you need. So Ms. Gail Eubanks is a person that I would accredit to that. She was my speech teacher at Savannah Technical College. And the question is, what advice would I give a student? I would give a student to take a speech class, to join a Toastmasters. They have them here in Savannah. If you want to learn how to speak, those are things you need to do. Another thing, if there are gigs on campus, which there are, all the time. Someone's always having an event. Someone's always doing something. Hey, can I host it? Hey, can I? Because that's how you get in front of people. Another thing, even if it's not a student event, but even if it's one of the professors or someone who's having something, you let them know, even if it's just you walking up, reading that person's bio, and them walking up, and you sitting down, and that's it. Those things are practice. Those things are things that you need to know in the field in which you are in.
Okay. So to piggyback off of what you said about the importance of speaking, that brings us to our next question, which is speech and pronunciation are so important in radio. It's vital almost.
Yes.
And so I'm asking, how have you mastered this craft of speaking?
I've always been a chameleon. I've always called myself Black Madonna. I've always been able to recreate and reinvent and stay fresh. And I think that's probably the reason why I love marketing so much, because that's what it is. You're basically taking the exact same product or service that someone else is doing and recreating it to say it's new, when it's not. But it's new. You want it, you need it, and you need it now. But for me, speech has definitely been something that has been large. I can remember when I first started with 94.1 The Beat, I learned a very valuable lesson from my PD at that time, my program director. His name was Bo Money. And Bo Money gave me my first shot at radio. And I started off, it's radio, I have to, do this, do that. So I would get on the air and I would say, hello, it's Lady Mahogany for 94.1 The Beat. Coming up next, we have X, Y, and Z. It sounded like NPR radio. It sounded like NPR. It sounded like news radio. And one day, he just passed by the studio, and he opened up the door. It was the first week of working there. Opened up the door, and he said, everyone knows you have a degree. You don't have to prove it. And he slammed the door, and he walked out. And I was like... But what he meant was, don't talk above the people.
Right. Talk to them.
Talk to people. Don't talk at people. But I didn't know. So for me, when it comes to speech, I speak well. I can speak as well as my arena. I can speak just as well or just as not well as my environment. But when in Rome,
do as Romans do.
Do as Romans do. So for me, that's where my speech comes in. I've practiced it through speech class, also just in life. I want to make sure that in different arenas I was able to handle myself. So you watch and you imitate and you practice. And I've done that. I've gotten in the mirror and sat down and actually wrote something, read something and looked at myself as I read it to make sure that my presentation was on point. So in certain things, you need to make sure that you drop the jaw and you lift the tongue so that you enunciate and elaborate on everything. And then there's other situations where you like, younger.
All right, so I think it is amazing what you do. Like, I really, after your workshop, I was definitely inspired and motivated. And I also think your nonprofit organization, Blessings in a Book Bag, is an amazing thing to do also to give back. So you are the founder of Blessings in a Book Bag, a local nonprofit organization. Can you please tell us about it and the role that writing has played into planning its creation and its success?
Right. Now, I actually do more writing in Blessings in a Book Bag than I do in the radio world, which is amazing. But that's where my business and my marketing and my mass communications come into play on a daily basis. All three of those things help me on a daily basis. Sometimes you go to school and you say, I'll never use this.
Right.
Everything that I've learned in business, marketing, and in mass communications, I use on a daily basis. Daily basis with Blessings in a Book Bag. Now, for those of you who don't know Blessings in a Book Bag, it's my nonprofit that I started almost 5 years ago. And Monday through Friday, we all know that kids eat at school, but on the weekends, that need is still there. And that's where Blessings in a Book Bag comes in. We go to Otis Brock Elementary, which is a school in one of the urban areas in downtown Savannah. The poverty level is high, and it's a food desert. So we go into the cafeteria every Friday with enough food to sustain over 50 students and their families. We put the food into their book bags at the end of the day. From the cafeteria, they walk out and then go home, whether it be get on the bus or walk X, Y, and Z. We do it at the end of the day because it's an embarrassment. There's some shame that goes to that, to know that, as a kid, And some of my kids are aware of something. Like my third graders and up to fifth, they understand what's going on. And sometimes it's embarrassing because the other kids, if they go back to class, they may pick on them.
Right.
But it's definitely something that's a need in downtown Savannah, West Savannah, which that's where I'm from. And I've been doing this program to ensure that those students have the food that they need over the weekends. That way on Monday morning, they return back to school nourished and ready to work. A lot of teachers have a conflict when it comes to students because they don't have a point of reference. They don't understand why the child is sleeping in school. They don't understand why the child is irritated or angry or whatever. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have not eaten.
Right.
And they're hungry. So looking at you with your diamond ring and your diamond earrings and your nice cardigan, stop talking to me.
Right.
About what 1 + 1 equals. And just because I don't know what the is, I can't read that word, stop talking to me. And it's a serious issue. And people always ask me, why this cause, why you? The answer is simple. Because at one point in time, I was the child on the receiving end of the bag. I went to Otis Brock Elementary. At Otis Brock Elementary, I was the kid that left school that day knowing that 11:30 when I had lunch, I was not going to eat a meal again until Monday morning for breakfast. Was I a behavior issue? No. Did I lash out? No. I was good at acting because I did not want the teachers to know what the real deal was to put me in another situation that would have been even worse.
Right.
So because I know firsthand what it feels like to be hungry, because I know firsthand what it feels like to be a child trying to make it through and is hungry, because I come from that community and that community built me and bred me, it is my responsibility to go back and make sure that the people in my community have what they need to sustain themselves and to move forward and to be prosperous in the community and in their families. And that's my life mission. My life mission. It's not a goal, it's not my career, that's my life mission. Blessings in the Book Bag is my life mission. Lady Mahogany, 94 to Beat, that's my career. Careers come and go.
Amazing. So with that being said, I'm sure everybody at this point will know that you are definitely a mover and a shaker in our community. So how does it feel to be able to give back?
It feels wonderful. Every day I get up with the opportunity to have the feeling that most Americans don't have, which is I'm happy to go to work.
Yeah.
Most Americans, they wake up in the morning, they look at the clock and they go, I don't feel like this. For me, I made my job. I made my career. Radio, don't get me wrong, love radio. Radio has provided me with the platform for me to do what it is that I do and sustain my life mission. So by no way am I dogging the radio. That's an opportunity that I have been given, and I thank God for that. But I work for somebody. And at any point in time, they can tell me they wish me the best in my future endeavors.
And what you gonna do after that? That's why it's important.
Exactly. And that's what Blessings in the Book Bag is. Because I've already found out what my life mission is. And it's my work. It's my job. It's my career. So I'm sustained myself where at any point in time, if anything happens over here, Lord forbid, but if anything happens, I'm able to look them in the face and say, I thank you for the opportunity. And now move forward with this and have more time and give 100% focus to this and be okay. And that's what it's about. Like I told you all, create your jobs. Don't ask for money, go get money. But you have to create your position in this world. And I've created my position in this community. And that's what I do every day. Try to strengthen that community, try to strengthen that position in the community to move forward and to have some longevity there. Because just like funeral homes, someone will always die. Just like beauty salons, someone will always need their hair done. And just like poverty, it will always be there in America due to the bigger issues that we have. And I intend on being there to make sure that those things are distributed equally to those that are definitely in need. So I'm a facilitator of sorts. And I love it. I love it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not satisfied by it. I'm not content. I love it. And there's a difference. And most people can't say they love what they do. I love what I do. I wake up every morning happy to get up and go do what I gotta do.
Well, I'm not from the Savannah area, but I'm definitely thankful that you are a mover and a shaker in this community, because there are, even though there might not be students at Brock Elementary that necessarily get the have to get the blessings in the book bag from you, when they see that, I feel like that's motivational in a sense. And to move on, when you're not on the air at 94.1 The Beat, or doing your nonprofit, Blessings in the Book Bag, or just being Lady Mahogany, what does Miss Westlyn Bowers write about?
I love food. I'm a big girl at heart. I love food. I'm a foodie. I love food. I love presentation. So for me, people always ask me, like, what do you love to do? And I always say I like to eat. Because I do. So I love to go to restaurants and order foods that are different, that are exotic, things I haven't tasted before, but also to look at the plating of it. So you get sushi, right? And you get these dishes out. And I don't think that I'm this person that eats all of these crazy things, but I enjoy, sushi, all cooked and some uncooked. But even with sushi, the chef is an artist, because not only do they bring the sushi out, but they decorate the plate. And I'm a sucker for presentation. I've sent salads back at restaurants because the presentation is, I know what the salad is supposed to look like, because I've been here before, and on a slow day, you took the time out to put the cucumbers, then the tomatoes, then the whatever. You're not going to hand me something that's going into my body, because I have to look at that before I eat it. So presentation, the art and the beauty in presentation means a lot to me. I love music. My favorite artists range from Elton John, who I think is a freaking genius, okay, all the way to Jay-Z, Kanye West, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, all of these people, Miss Lauryn Hill. These are classic, timeless people that their music will live on forever. So I have an eclectic palette. I also have an eclectic ear. I love art. I love beauty. I'm a true Renaissance woman in the sense, and people started calling me that, and I didn't know. I mean, I was familiar with the Renaissance movement, of course, but now that I really see when they say, you're a true Renaissance woman, I embrace that now, because I had no idea what it meant, but I am. I have to own that, because when it comes to food, music, art, I love it. So if I'm not doing those things, I am always dancing. For people who don't know, I did backup on the southeastern legs for a Madonna Vogue tour, Janet Jackson Velvet Rope tour, and Beyonce on her Deja Vu tour. And dance, choreography, I love it. I love to move. I love to see movement. I love to see music and bodies connect, and I love to see that aha moment when they hit the beat, and this just that feeling. I really do enjoy that. So I have my own dance theater now group. It's called Picasso, Art in Motion. And we do everything from dance to spoken word to rap, all the way to dance and singing. So we have the gambit, and we have a show that I'm going to release here soon. I've been quietly working with them for the past 4 months. And I have a marketing degree, so just because you got a good product doesn't mean you throw it out there.
Right.
You wait, and you strategically place that. So I've been quietly behind the scenes doing this, because that's what I do on my off time. Art, anything art, all the way from food to dance. I love it.
Okay. So as far as your theater, Picasso, how do people necessarily, I guess, come to be a part of it?
We haven't. When I first sent out an all call, because you got to see who's real. So I sent out an all call a couple of months ago on Instagram and Facebook. But the all call was just, if you're a dancer, if you're a singer, if you're a rapper, you're a poet, contact me. And did that. And a group of people came. A group of people auditioned, and through the past 5 months now, we may have started off with, I think, 23, to where now we have 11. Yeah, it ain't for the weak. it ain't for the weak at heart. And on top of that too, that span of time without having an end result, not everybody can see the vision. Not everybody can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And like I told you before, every relationship is an even swap. Even swap, no swindle. Remember that. So in every relationship, the last thing you want to do is put something together and give people all of your knowledge, give people everything that you have, your art, your whatever, and then you do the show and then you never to hear from them again. So for me, it's I'm going to give you what I have, but you have to earn it. I want your work. I want your work. I want to see the art. And when you give me something, then I'll give you something. You give me something, and I'll give you something. So some people can't do long relationships, and that's fine. It happens. That's life. But Picasso is a family. It's a close-knit family. And it is definitely not for the weak at heart, because anyone who knows me, they know that I demand respect and I demand your work ethic. I could care less about what you have going on any other way. When you hit those doors, I want to see the art. That's all. So as far as anyone being engaged, we're going to hold an open session coming up soon. I don't know exactly when, but we'll hold an open session. But if anyone's interested, they can always hit me on Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram is Lady Mahogany 912, and my Facebook page is Weslyn Bowers, WESLYN BOWERS, B as in boy. And they can contact me and inbox me to say, hey, Miss Mahogany, I'm a dancer. Hey, Miss Mahogany, I'm a rapper, whatever. And then I'll give them information from there. But it's not anything that I put out on purpose, because I love art, but art is my baby.
Okay.
And you hold your kids close to you.
I can understand that. So you are Lady Mahogany. You have Blessings in a Book Bag, and you also have the Picasso Theater, and probably amongst many other things. So what other ways has the written word contributed to your professional and personal accomplishments?
I've had different relationships that have prospered just by an email. Just how well written it was. Just how passionate it was. Just how clear and concise it was. I learned something. It's called KISS. And I learned that from Miss Gail Eubanks. Keep it simple, stupid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Keep it simple, stupid. So in certain arenas, you need to send out an email that is who, what, when, where, and why. That's it. Boom. No feelings, no emotions, no nothing. And then there are other emails that people say, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And what is it that you need? Those are the ones that you put your passion into. You tell your story. And based off of those emails that I've sent out, that I've told my story in such a clear and concise way, people have responded back by saying, your words danced across the paper. That's what you want to do. You want your words to dance. You want your words to move. I want my words to dance and to move across paper. I want my words to evoke a feeling.
I know a lot of students on campus look up to you and even coin you as a role model. So what recommendations would you give to the student body here at Savannah State regarding college and a career in the future?
One of the first things I would tell people is stop trying to prove something to your friends, okay? Because your friends are broke just like you. And these professors, these are the people who you need to build relationships with, because those professors have cell phones, and those cell phones have contacts in them, and those contacts have and or money and or job and or training for you.
Exactly. Your
friends have nothing like you have nothing. So why would you go out of your way to try to make something happen with them? Does that make sense? So that's the first thing. Stop trying to prove something to your friends or show off for your friends or forget that professor. No, that professor can take you further than your friend can. So start building relationships with your professor. And in return, your professor will see what you're doing and your professor will help you. That's the first thing. The second thing is be consistent in your brand. And for some people, they may say, I'm a political science major, I'm a so-and-so major. Your brand is you.
Exactly.
Your image, that's your brand. So what that means is you can't stand up to the front of the school with the president for the JMC, whatever, ceremony and have your suit on and looking good, looking professional, nice. And then later on that week on Saturday night, you got a picture, somebody took a picture of you and you passed out drunk on the back seat. Look at my homeboy. Or you on the Instagram taking a picture, kissing, somebody, this my bae. It's nobody's business what you do in your personal life. But what you just did was you just tarnished your brand. Because now, even all the work that you do, you a liar.
So as we come to the end, the last thing I'm going to ask you is, are there any parting words or thoughts that you would like to leave with our listeners?
Definitely. Give back. Give back to your community and never be ashamed of where you have come from. I made a mistake a long time ago and lied about where I came from and what I came from. And even to this day, and I've made it right with my community, but even to this day, I cannot tell you how painful that still is to me. When I went off to New York and I went off to Atlanta because I did modeling. I modeled with Wilhelmina, New York for a couple of years. And they'll give you this sheet, and on that sheet is called a comp card, and they'll tell you what you are. So if you're a white female with red hair, you're Irish, right? So they kind of make you what you are. And I was a black female, deep, complexion with locks, so I was Caribbean. So they coined me Afro-Caribbean on the comp card. And when you take that comp card on your go-sees for clients, they'll look and they'll say, okay, you're Afro. So instead of me saying, no, I'm not Afro-Caribbean to that client, I say, okay, and people will say, where you from? I say, the South. And they'll say, oh, you from Atlanta? So by omission, I lied. Because I didn't want people to know that I came from a small town. Because I held so much resentment for the people that told me in my own town that I wasn't going to be anything, that I was too black, that I was too dumb, too slow, whatever. I held resentment. But what I failed to realize is that I hurt the people who were there for me, like my brother who is like my father, who always believed in me, who was always there for me. And when I came back to Savannah from traveling and going back and forth, they wanted to do a news story on me. And people never think I'm from Savannah, but I am. Born and raised straight out of West Savannah. Grew up on in Woodsville on a half-paved, half-dirt road. Wasn't even fully paved. And the Savannah Morning News did an article on me. And it was a big, beautiful article, about me doing my poetry back then and traveling, dancing, so on and so forth. And in it, they say, oh, you're from New York, Afro-Caribbean, this and that. And I was like, Not knowing at that young age, not knowing that was going to fall on me. My brother called me when the article came out. And I've never seen my brother cry. I've never heard him get emotional. He's very much so a man's man. But my brother called me and he said, why did you tell them people that you was from New York? And I gave him this excuse that at that point I felt validated. I said, what does it matter? I said, these people don't care about me. They don't feed me. They don't do this. They don't do that. They told me I was black. So what does it matter? You know what he told me? He said, when you forget where you come from, you deny me. You deny everything that I did for you. You deny all the support that I gave you. Until this day, I still hurt about that. Because I felt like I let him down. And I let my community down. I made it a mission after that conversation years ago. But I made it a mission. Every time I get to open up my mouth, I scream West Savannah and I scream Savannah. Because that's where I came from. Never forget where you came from. Never forget your struggles, because your struggles will take you where you need to go. Because it's when you forget that you get lost. And I never want to forget that little black girl that was raised in Woodsville on a half-paved, half-dirt road. So the advice that I would give to students is make these relationships with these professors and never forget where you came from, because in your struggle, you will find direction.
So I want to close out by saying if you missed Lady Mahogany's Lunch and Learn workshop today, then you definitely missed out on an amazing experience to be able to sit and listen to her speak. And with that being said, I just want to thank you, Lady Mahogany, for sitting down with the QEP today.
Thank you for having
this
me.
interview. Thank
Definitely.
you so much.